Today, good morning children. Today we will begin with the nervous system. We have studied about all the life processes, and these life processes are very important for survival or maintenance of life of all the organisms. And this control and coordination is another life process that is very much needed for the survival of any organism. And control and coordination, it is done by two organ systems. Good morning children. We will start with this nervous system. We have already studied about the life processes such as circulation, this respiration, all the life processes we studied in the previous chapter. Now we will be studying about another important life process, that is control and coordination, and the control and coordination in the case of the living beings is done with the help of, especially in higher organisms, done with the help of two organ systems, namely nervous system and endocrine system. Now we will be discussing about this control and coordination in humans, and the nervous system plays a very important role in controlling and coordinating all the organ systems in our body. That is done with all the organ systems in our body, that is controlled and coordinated with the help of the nervous system. And nervous system actually receives the information from our environment through our sense organs. All the 5 sense organs help us to receive the various information from our environment, and from these sense organs, this information is carried to the nervous system in the form of nerve impulses or electrical impulses, and the nervous system help us to understand what we have heard with the help of our ears, what we have seen with the help of our eyes, what we have felt, or what we have touched, or what we have actually seen, or what is felt. Everything actually interpreted. So suppose you see a round object, and this round object, this information is carried from your eyes through the brain of the nervous system. Brain interprets or make you understand what you have seen, whether it is a bowl or a coconut. So this is how nervous system helps us to understand about our environment. And then nervous system also sends certain instructions or commands to our muscles and glands. So based on that we can act. So that is the case of the nervous system. Now we will see the case of nervous system. So you must understand nervous system, as you already know, it is made up of our brain, spinal cord and the nerves. And through the sense organs only we are receiving all the information, and this information is carried to the brain and spinal cord through the sensory nerves. And in our sense organs there are certain groups of cells. These groups of cells found in the sense organs, we can call them as sensory receptors. We will call them as sensory receptors. There are different type of sensory receptors present in various sense organs. For example, in the case of the nose, the sensory receptors are known as olfactory receptors. These are the olfactory receptors. These olfactory receptors, they are found in the nose. They help us to detect the smell. The next type of receptors are gustatory receptors. These are the receptors found in the tongue, and they help us to detect various kinds of taste. So olfactory receptors help us to smell, and gustatory receptors help us to taste. Then again photoreceptors are there. Photon, from the name itself it is clear, photon means light. Photoreceptors are the receptors found in the innermost layer of our eye. Innermost layer of our eye is retina. So this retina contains photoreceptors, rods and cones. I hope you have already know. So these photoreceptors detect light. These photoreceptors are connected with sensory nerves. Sensory nerves carry this message in the form of nerve impulses to the brain. When you see any object, when you see a tree or any kind of object, that information is carried in the form of the electrical impulses from the photoreceptors in the retina to the brain, and brain makes you understand whether it is a tree or whatever it is, and the color also we can identify with the help of this brain only. So you must understand there are photoreceptors in the eye which help us to actually detect this light, and there are these photoreceptors, these cones help us to identify the different these colors also, but we can understand about them only with the help of the brain. So thermoreceptors are there. These thermoreceptors are present in the skin, and these thermoreceptors, when you touch any hot object or cold object, and these actually message is carried to the brain, and this brain makes you understand whether it is hot or this cold. Then auditory receptors are there. These auditory receptors, actually they are otherwise known as phonoreceptors. They are present in the ears, inner ear, and they help us to receive and detect these sound waves. So all these are the different type of receptors. So receptors are the groups of cells or cells present in our sense organs. They help us to detect various kind of stimuli. Stimuli means any change in the environment. For example, olfactory receptor detect this smell, and also gustatory receptor is taste, and photoreceptor is light. Light is actually a stimulus. Thermoreceptors, heat or cold, that this is also a stimulus. And auditory receptors actually help us to detect various kind of the sound. So all these are the receptors. They play a very important role to know about the environment, and they detect the various stimuli or changes in the environment such as light, heat, this taste, pressure, pain, etc. And from these receptors in the sense organs, there are certain nerves called sensory nerves which transmit or carry the messages to the brain. Brain makes you understand what you have heard. When I am teaching you, actually my sound is carried from the auditory receptors to the brain, and brain makes you understand what you have heard now. Okay, and so the sensory nerves, they carry the messages from all the receptors in the sense organs to the brain, and brain makes us understand what we heard, what we felt, what we smelt, etc. So that's the case of these receptors and sensory neurons. Now we see the next. Neurons, when we take the case of the neurons, this I hope you already know about the neurons in lower classes. Neurons can be classified into these three types. Sensory neurons are there, motor neurons are there, then relay neurons are there. And these sensory neurons, from the name itself it is clear. These are the neurons which transmit the messages or impulses from the sense organs, that is receptors in the sense organs, to the brain and the spinal cord. Okay. Then motor neurons, actually they do the reverse action. So you touch a, I will give you an example. You touch a hot object with your hand. Then what happens? Here the thermoreceptors in your hand detect the heat. This message is carried to the brain, as well as actually it is carried to the spinal cord also. Then the spinal cord as well as brain gives actually this a command to the motor neurons. Motor neurons, this carry the command to the muscles of the hand. All of a sudden you withdraw your hand. This is especially in the case of this reflex actions. Reflex actions means that is mainly controlled by the spinal cord. because reflex action will be studying in detail. In order to protect our body from danger only reflex actions occur. So, you must understand sensory neurons. Another example I will give you to show the difference between sensory and motor neurons. You are writing an exam and you read the question with the help of your eyes. The photoreceptors, they detect what is written. Light is detected by the photoreceptors in the eye, in the retina. The message is carried by the sensory nerves to the brain. Brain interprets or gives the meaning of that question, and brain connects your memory with the learning, and brain gives you the answer. And this answer is carried by some motor neurons to the muscle of your hand, and you write the answer. The same thing happens when you are appearing for an interview or when I ask you a question also. Actually, this sound waves is carried. Sound waves are carried to the brain by the sensory nerves, and this brain makes you understand the question, and it gives some instructions through the motor neurons to the muscle of the tongue, and you give the answer all of a sudden. So, these actions take place very, very quickly. These are very fast. And so, you must understand children, this nervous system is very, very quick in action. So, these nervous system help in the transmission of these impulses, that is messages throughout the body. That is sensory neurons carry these messages from sense organs to the brain and spinal cord, and motor neurons carry the commands or the instructions to the muscles and glands. These muscles or glands are otherwise known as effector organs. For this I will give you another example. Suppose you see a dog chasing you. So, two sense organs work here. Your eyes, you see the dog chasing you. You hear the barking of the dog. Both your sense organs, ears and eyes are working. So, these sensory neurons carry the sound waves from your ears to the brain, and from your eyes the message is carried by the sensory nerves to the brain, and so both this information is coordinated, integrated in the brain. Brain actually gives a command. Brain actually brain makes you understand the situation is very dangerous. You have to escape from that. You have to run away from the situation. Then what happens is brain gives a command to the motor neurons. Motor neurons carry the command to the muscles of your leg. All of a sudden you start running. Actually, for this action to take place, it doesn't take too much time. You see the dog, hear the barking, at the same, within the fraction of a second you start running. So, this is how our nervous system works. It is very quick, very fast in action. Okay. So, you must understand the motor neurons carry the instructions from the brain and spinal cord to the muscles as well as to the glands, and help us to respond to various situations properly. Okay. Then, relay neurons are there. These relay neurons actually occur in the brain and the spinal cord, central nervous system, and they serve as links between the sensory and the motor neurons. So, when we study about the reflex action, you can understand the function of the relay neurons. Relay neurons are otherwise known as interneurons. Another name for relay neuron is interneuron. So, you must understand relay neurons are otherwise known as interneurons, and these interneurons, what do they do is children, they occur both in the this brain and spinal cord, and especially in the spinal cord you will be seeing how they are working in reflex action. Then what happens is they serve as links, connection between the sensory neurons and motor neurons. So, that is the case of these various type of nerves. Now, we will move on to the next part. We will see the components of the nervous system. The nervous system, you already know that nervous system consists of brain, spinal cord and nerves. But here we are studying a broad division of the nervous system. Nervous system can be divided into the central nervous system and peripheral nervous system. Central nervous system is otherwise we can call this CNS. Central nervous system consists of the brain and the spinal cord. The central nervous system you can see brain and spinal cord, they together makes the central nervous system, and these are the main control unit of the body, because the whole body functions are controlled by brain, and spinal cord also has a very important role in protecting body from danger during reflex action, etc. So, this central nervous system plays a very important role in integration of all the bodily activities, coordination of bodily activities, as well as this central nervous system, especially the brain, controls the all other organ systems. Now, next part of the nervous system, we can call it as the peripheral nervous system. Peripheral nervous system that consists of the nerves which arise from the brain as well as from the spinal cord. The nerves which arise from the brain, they are 12 pairs in number. These are known as cranial nerves. Cranium is a word connected to brain. So, you must understand the nerves which arise from the brain, we will call them as cranial nerves. Cranial nerves are 12 pairs and they directly connect the whole parts of our head with the brain. Then spinal nerves are there. These are the nerves which arise from the spinal cord. There are 31 pairs of the spinal nerves. They are connected to different parts of the body. They connect different parts of the body to the spinal cord. Then that is the case of the peripheral nervous system. What do they do is, all the nerves, as you know, they carry messages to the brain and spinal cord, that is sensory nerves. And here cranial nerves, some of the cranial nerves are sensory in nature, that means they carry messages from the sense organs to the brain. Some others are motor also, they carry messages from the brain to the all the muscles and glands. Similarly, spinal nerves actually, most of the spinal nerves you can see mixed nerves are there, that we will be studying, and so cranial nerves and certain sensory and motor are also there. So, that is the case of the broad division of the nervous system. Central nervous system consisting of brain and spinal cord, master control unit controls all the organs of the body. Peripheral nervous system consists of all the nerves which arise from the brain. Cranial nerves are 12 pairs and spinal nerves are 31 pairs in number. That is the case of all the parts of the nervous system. Now, we will see slide over video. Now, we will see the structure of a typical neuron. As you know, the nervous system is made up of the structural and functional units called these neurons. Neurons are otherwise known as these nerve cells. So, you must understand the neuron, that is the structural and functional unit of the nervous system, and the neuron help in the transmission of impulses throughout our body. We will see the parts of the neuron. The neuron, as you know, it consists of a cell body, then dendrites are there, axon is there. So, you must understand, children, these are the main parts of a neuron. The neuron consists of a cell body. Cell body is the cytoplasm of the neuron. This cytoplasm of the neuron, it contains a nucleus also. Then the next portion of the neuron, you must understand, there are a number of, so the cytoplasm of the neuron, that is otherwise known as this cytone, and this cytone that contains a nucleus also. The next portion of the neuron, that is the dendron. So you must understand, dendrons are there, cell body is there, nucleus is there. The next portion you have to understand, children, a number of branches arise from the neuron. These branches, short branches, we will call them as dendrons. The short branches are called dendrons, and again a longest branch of the cell body, we will call it as the axon. So you must understand, children, the cell body or cytone is here, and then the next portion of the neuron is a number of projections arise from the neuron or the cell body, and these are shorter projections are known as dendrons. Dendrons again divide to form these dendrites, and the longest projection from the cell body we will call it as the axon. This axon finally this ends in a number of branches, we will call them as axonites. That is the case of this the structure of a typical neuron. So you must understand, children, this neuron consists of a cell body or a cytone. A number of projections arise from the neuron, and these projections are known as dendrons, and these dendrons actually divide to form a number of branches called dendrites, and then the longest projection from the cell body we can call it as the axon. This axon end in terminals called this axonites. That is the case of this structure of a typical neuron. Okay. Sir, okay. ഇതിന് ഒന്നും വരുന്നില്ല, എനിക്ക് ഇത് ഇപ്പോഴാണത്. ഒന്നും വരുന്നില്ല, മറ്റേതൊന്നും വരുന്നില്ല, ഒന്നും കാണിക്കുന്നില്ല. ആദ്യം തൊട്ട് അപ്പം ഞാൻ അന്നേരം ഈ സാധനം ഇവിടെ ഉണ്ടല്ലോ, വരയ്ക്കണം. പക്ഷെ അത് വീഡിയോ പോകുന്നുണ്ടോ? അപ്പം വീഡിയോ പോകുന്നുണ്ടോ? അല്ല, ഇപ്പോൾ വീഡിയോ ഞാൻ ഓൺ ചെയ്താൽ പൊക്കോളൂ. വീഡിയോ പോവല്ലോ. Now we will see the structure of a typical neuron. A typical neuron, as you know, consists of the important parts, namely cell body. Cell body is the cytoplasm of the neuron. Then a number of shorter branches which arise from the cell body called dendrites. The long branch we will call it as the axon. So that is the case of a structure of, this is the typical parts of a neuron. So the cytoplasm, that is the cytone. Cytoplasm is otherwise known as cytone, and cytone, one more name is there, that is cell body. Cell body, another name for this cell body is cytone, and the cytone consists of a nucleus. A number of shorter projections arise from this cell body, and these shorter projections we will call them as these dendrons, and dendrons actually form a number of these branches called dendrites. So you must understand, dendrites are there, this is the axon, and then these are the So, cell body or cytone, it branches out to form a number of projections called dendrites. So, shorter branches which arise from the cell body are dendrites, and the longest branch we will call it as an axon. Axon end in certain terminals called nerve terminals, or this presynaptic nerves or axon terminals. So, this is the basic structure of a typical neuron. So, you must understand, children, in the case of any neuron, the neurons are connected to each other, and neuron, that this is the dendritic tip of a neuron receives information from an adjacent neuron or from a sense organ. So, the function of the dendrite is to carry the messages. Dendrite, what does dendrite do is, this dendrite, it actually receives this information from another sense organ or from another this neuron, and it carries this information to the cell body. That is the function of the dendrite. Then the function of this axon is, axon carries this information away from the cell body. So, these are the basic function of this axon and dendrites. So, dendrites actually receive the information from another neuron or from a sense organ and carries the information to the cell body, while axon carries this information away from the cell body. And then we will see what happens next. So, you must understand, children, what is happening next, working of a neuron, we will see now. Here the working of a neuron is very, very interesting. You have to understand it, this working of a neuron. So, suppose you see an object like this, you see with your eyes, and the information is carried from the retina. This is the retina, innermost layer of the eye. This information is carried to the brain, and this is done with the help of the sensory neurons, and we will see how do sensory neurons do this. That is what we are going to see next. And here transmission of how nerve impulses are transmitted across these different neurons. Here you must understand, children, the neurons, the axonite tip of a neuron is in close contact with the dendrite tip of a next neuron. So, these neurons are actually arranged very close to each other, and they form this wire-like structure which is spread throughout our body, from our sense organs to the brain and spinal cord, as well as from the brain and spinal cord to the muscles and the glands. Now, we will see how does it happen. This is how a nerve impulse is travelled from axonite to the dendrite of the next neuron. This is how these neurons work. We will see how does it happen. So, here what happens, whenever an information is received at the dendritic tip of a neuron, what happens is, children, a chemical reaction takes place. So, you must understand, whenever an information is, so you must understand, children, whenever an information is received at the tip of a dendrite, a chemical reaction, I hope you can see that, this chemical reaction takes place, and this chemical reaction, as a result of this chemical reaction, what happens is, children, an electrical impulse is produced. So, whenever an information is received at the tip of a dendrite, a chemical reaction takes place. As a result of this chemical reaction, an electrical impulse is produced. What is produced? An electrical impulse is produced. So, you have to understand, you have to start like this, children. This information, here information is received. Information is received at the tip of a dendron, that is dendritic strip. And whenever an information is received at the tip of the dendrite, as a result of this information, a chemical reaction takes place. That is the next step. And whenever chemical reaction takes place, an electric impulse is produced. In order to memorize this, I will give you a shortcut, eyes. Just think about this eyes. Information received at the tip of the dendrite, and as a result a chemical reaction occurs. As a result of the chemical reaction, an electric impulse is produced at the tip of the dendrite. This electric impulse is carried to the cell body. From the cell body, the axon carries this electric impulse to the tip of the axon. At the tip of the axon, you can see a number of nerve terminals. When these electrical impulses, they reach the tip of these axons or nerve terminals, what is happening is, children, they are release actually certain chemical substances called neurotransmitters are released. The chemical substances called neurotransmitters are released, and these neurotransmitters are released. One typical example of a neurotransmitter I will call this, tell you, acetylcholine. Acetylcholine, that is the example. I will tell you the spelling also, ACTY, acetylcholine. So this is an example of a neurotransmitter. So I will tell you, I will repeat now. Information received at the tip of the dendron. Whenever information is received, a chemical reaction occurs. As a result of the chemical reaction, an electric impulse is produced. This electric impulse travels from the tip of the dendron to the cell body or cytone. From the cytone, the axon carries the electric impulse to the tip of the axon, that is nerve terminals. At the nerve terminals, what happens is certain chemicals are released. Actually, when these electrical impulses reach the tip of the axon or axon terminals, these electrical impulses triggers the release of a chemical substance. These chemical substances are generally known as neurotransmitters. These neurotransmitters, you know what do? They cross the synapse. They cross the synapse means they cross this connection between two adjacent neurons, and they start a similar electrical impulse. I will tell you once again. So here, children, I will tell you once again, show you how does it happen. Just listen to me. So now this electric impulse reaches the cytone. From the cytone, it is carried through the axon to the nerve terminals, and it reaches the nerve terminal. And then what happens is, when it reaches the nerve terminal, it triggers the release of the neurotransmitter, and this neurotransmitter, they cross the synapse. This neurotransmitter, it cross the synapse. Synapse, you know, children, cross this synapse is a microscopic gap between two adjacent neurons. So whenever a neuron is connected to the other neuron, there are certain, these neurons are not interconnected. There is a small microscopic gap between the axonate of one neuron and the dendrite of the next neuron. And this is what is called a synapse. You have to call it as a synapse. So you must understand this synapse actually, that is a microscopic gap between the two adjacent neurons. So whenever a nerve impulse reaches the axon terminal, a neurotransmitter is released. This neurotransmitter crosses the synapse and it reaches the dendrite of the next neuron, and it triggers a similar chemical reaction in the dendrite of the next neuron. That means it produces an electric impulse in the next neuron. So this is how the nerve impulses cross a synapse or a nerve impulses get transmitted in our body. So once again I will tell you, now the nerve impulses that actually first it is detected by the tip of the dendrite. It passes to the cell body, axon carries this to the axon terminal. When these nerve impulses reach the axon terminal, a neurotransmitter is released. This neurotransmitter crosses the synapse, it reaches the dendrite tip of the next neuron. It starts a similar electrical impulse in the next neuron. This is how a nerve impulse gets transmitted across a synapse. So that is the case of this transmission of the nerve impulses. And again, children, you have to understand, suppose a neuron is connected with a muscle. This is what we are going to see now. Now, suppose this gap and synapse, I will tell you once again. After that, I will tell you about neuromuscular junction also. So this gap or synapse, this gap is known as synapse. So what happens is, children, this is the nerve ending of a neuron A, here you are taking neuron A and neuron B, and this is the axonite tip of a neuron A. There is a microscopic gap called synapse between the neuron A and neuron B, and then electrical impulse reaches the tip of the axonite, neurotransmitter released, it crosses the synapse, it reaches the next neuron, it starts a similar electrical impulse in the neuron B. This is how the nerve impulse get transmitted. Now I will tell you about this another situation. This is how this generally nerve impulses get transmitted. Suppose this neuron, here neurons, two neurons are interconnected. Suppose this another situation occurs. Here a neuron, that is a motor neuron. If a motor neuron, that means a neuron which carry the instruction or commands from the central nervous system, if it comes in contact with a motor muscle, what happens? I will tell you the situation. You are touching a hot object. Very simple example. Then the heat impulse is carried from the skin to the brain. Brain gives a command through this motor nerves. This is actually a motor nerve. This one is a motor nerve. Here this is not a neuron. This is a motor. This neuron. This is actually not a sensory neuron. This is a motor neuron. So you must understand, children, this is a neuron which carries the instruction or command from the central nervous system, and here what happens is this motor neuron, it carries the message. You have touched a hot object, so the message carried to the brain, and the brain makes you understand it is hot. You have to actually withdraw your hand or leg, and so you have to this protect your body from getting burnt. Then what happens? The motor neuron carries that commands, and finally the motor neuron, this brings that command to a target organ. These target organs can be either muscles or glands, that you know, children. Target organs can be muscles or the glands. So what happens is this motor neuron, this carry the message, and here this electrical impulse, as in the case of the transmission of nerve impulses across a synapse. Now this electrical impulse has reached the tip of the axon, but here the next adjacent this structure is not a neuron, it is a muscle fiber. So for example, muscle of our hand, muscle of our leg, whatever it is. Then what happens? Here also a chemical, actually electric impulse triggers the release of neurotransmitter. A neurotransmitter crosses this junction between the muscle and the motor neuron, and this neurotransmitter reaches the muscle. It starts an electric impulse there, and it gives commands to the muscle that we have to withdraw our this hand or leg. So this junction between a motor neuron and a muscle fiber, we will call it as a neuromuscular junction. We can call it as the neuromuscular junction. So you must understand, children, the junction between a motor neuron and a muscle fiber. These muscles, actually muscles and glands are the target cells or the target organs. These target organs, they receive the instructions or commands from the central nervous system, that is brain or spinal cord. They receive the instructions through the motor nerves, and they respond to various situations properly. So here this junction between a motor neuron and a muscle, we will call it as the neuromuscular junction. Neuromuscular junction. So the neuromuscular junction is the junction between a motor neuron and a muscle cell. And so you have seen through a synapse, how does a nerve impulse travel? That is, it reaches the axonite tip, then releases neurotransmitter reaches the next neuron, starts a similar electric impulse. In the same way, these electrical impulses are transmitted from a motor neuron to the muscle. That is the case of here this neuromuscular junction. Now we have studied about the components of the nervous system and the parts of a typical neuron and how does a neuron transmit a nerve impulse across a synapse. That all this we studied now. You were familiar about the structure of the neuron from 9th standard onwards. Neuron, as you know, it has a very long and branched structure, and each cell possesses its shape and its structure according to its function. Based on the function, each cell is modified to assume or a particular this shape as well as structure. So, in order to help in the transmission of impulses throughout the body, the neurons or the nerve cells have a highly branched structure. So, that's all about the structure of the neuron, the working of this neuron. Now, what you have to do is, children, I will send you this 1 or 2 assignments and the notes to your groups. You have to go through this portion. If you have any doubts, you can ask me tomorrow. Tomorrow we will be meeting again during the first period. So, please go through this lesson. Read the textbook properly on neuromuscular junction, structure of the neuron, all these diagrams. You have to, both these diagrams you have to draw and label in your notebook. Read the portion, transmission of nerve impulse, structure of the neuron, components and all type of receptors. And tomorrow we will meet and be ready with your doubts. Thank you, children.